Hey guys, now that I had a chance to look into that rumor of the ATM glitches and the possibility of banks closing, I found a few articles that I found very interesting, and I'm going to read them to you. One article in particular is from prisonplanet.com. Now, there were a couple of glitches around the world with computer glitches, they say, affecting ATMs. That part is true. There was a computer glitch that affected ATMs, but the article I'm about to read to you, I feel, is even more important because it deals with a bank holiday possibly happening. Now, for those of you who don't know what a bank holiday is, that's when banks can decide to just close the banks for a few days. And I'm going to read the article. It's entitled, "Bank Holiday Rumors Swirl Amidst Currency Crisis." Now, this is very serious, folks. That means there could be a run on the banks. If the economy is really bad, what the banks do is they close the doors for undetermined amount of time, and they limit the amount of withdrawals people can take out. And that's when the economy is getting really bad. So I'm going to read the article. It's dated Friday, November 5th, 2010. It's by prisonplanet.com, and Paul Joseph Watson was dealing with this. It says, with the world on the verge of a currency war as the Federal Reserve follows through on its dollar-killing quantitative easing program, rumors are once again swirling of a bank holiday, during which U.S. citizens will be prevented from withdrawing money or at least limited in the amount of the withdrawal they can make. The bank holiday is rumored to be set for next week, with Thursday, November 11th, pinpointed as the likeliest date, which is very interesting because, like I reported before, about the webbot predicting something to happen within that time frame. So, if this is true, and it happens, it could be pointing towards an economic problem. It goes on to say, according to radio host Steve Quayle, a pastor was told by one of the managers of a prominent East Coast bank that banks would close for undetermined amount of time, and that when they reopened, all withdrawals by checks would be limited to $500 per week, no matter what the balance in the account is. Wow. I'm reading this for the first time, folks, so this is pretty amazing. That means if you had like $10,000 in the bank, you were still limited to $500 to take out in a week. I never heard of anything like that, but anyway, it goes on to say, limiting the amount of money customers can withdraw or blocking the facility altogether reminds us of a Citigroup advisory that was sent to customers at the start of the year, which stated that the bank reserved the right to require 7 days advance notice before permitting a withdrawal from all checking accounts. The story stoked fears that financial institutions were preparing for bank runs. And on his website, Quayle asks, when in U.S. history has a sitting president taken off on an overseas trip for an extended period of time with 65 airplanes, 34 warships, reportedly 3,000 people, including his friends and cohorts, at the pinnacle of an economic and political upheaval? Fears of a bank holiday first arose in June of last year, when it was rumored that banks would close their doors in early September. Concerns was fueled by reports that U.S. embassies in foreign countries were purchasing large quantities of local currency, with Brazil and other countries now threatening to take drastic currency measures to protect themselves against the dollar crisis. A similar financial environment is stoking identical fears. And it says, bank holidays are not without precedent in the United States. On March 5th, 1933, newly elected Franklin Roosevelt declared a bank holiday that lasted for 4 days, during which he rammed through the Emergency Banking Act, which granted FDR nearly dictatorial control over the dealings of banks. And the act also forced every citizen and business in the country to relinquish their gold in exchange for paper currency. Wow. I'm just reading this, and well, I guess we're going to have to wait. I mean, the article goes on a little further, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be linking, putting this link in the description area so everyone can read it for themselves. And do your own research, folks, because, like I said, I only got this from one area. And but Alex Jones and Paul Watson and people that he has on his show are very credible. These aren't kooks. They know what they're talking about. And if this pastor was told by a bank employee, a bank manager, I should say, the pastor was told by one of the managers of the prominent East Coast bank that the banks would close for an undetermined amount of time, I'd take that pretty serious. I mean, we'll have to wait and see this week and what happens. But it looks like the event, if this happens, the WebBot event would be in the form of a serious financial crisis with the run on banks, maybe. Anyway, guys, do the research. Now it's up to you to research some more. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye.
I'm Steve Quayle. This is a live presentation. It's the 5th of November, and the whole world holds its breath, wondering what's next. If you've begun to put two and two together, and I think that may be a challenge for a lot of people that have been emailing me lately, you've got to ask yourself this question. What could turn the economy around, if anything? Where are the jobs? Where is the manufacturing base? Where are the loans to the small businessman so that he can begin to provide ID goods and services or to manufacture products that he could export to the rest of the world? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. Wall Street is where it's all happening, and you on Main Street are dead. You're toast. Fascinatingly enough, today China said no more bonds. For those of you that have been listening to Glenn Beck and other pundits or reading different financial blogs, etc., the long bond, 30-year bond, is pretty much dead. And ladies and gentlemen, not only is the long bond dead, but municipal bonds are dead. We're seeing municipal suicide taking place right before our very eyes. We're seeing some of the largest construction contracts in the country failing. I'm personally familiar. My son is an engineer for one of the largest construction companies in the world, and he's intimately aware of what's going on in failed contracts, even ones that have been awarded bids, so the bids are being pulled out from under them. But tonight I want to talk about the bank alert that I put up, and I want to make this clear. I said emergency request for additional verification from those in the banking world on rumored bank shutdowns. 1 year ago I posted on my website, stevequayle.com, the letter I got from the Midwest Bank. Even the letter that's going to go out to all the banks, or maybe sent out to all the banks as early as this week, telling them how this is all going to play out. Now, it's not lost on me that Veterans Day is a national holiday, and of course the banks will be closed. But for those of you that have listened in and quit, trying to make things up in your mind as opposed to listening to what's being said, it has always been stated, even scenarios that are in executive orders talk about the ability to use an existing bank holiday to carry it on into the weekend and into the first of the week if necessary. I do not know that this 11th or 12th is going to be the bank holiday. I do not know that. But in the last 24 hours, I've spent an innumerable